Well, hello there, neighbors! Welcome back to a little something I like to call year-end list season, the most wonderful time of the year, especially on the best of countdowns, because I get to shove musical recommendations down your ear holes for as long as I want, and you just have to sit there and take it. Hey, come on now, you know you love it as much as I do, and seriously, a huge thank you to everyone that comes back to these every year. It means the world to me to think that I've influenced your taste in music in any way, however big or small. Today I'm counting down my top 50 best songs of 2021, my personal favorites of the past 12 months with a limit of one song per artist. I know, bummer, but it's so I can show off a wider range of talent. 50 really doesn't seem like a lot when you get down to the nitty-gritty of making the final heartbreaking cuts, knowing that something you love dearly is getting left behind, but fear not, if you want to hear several hundred more tracks that I really enjoyed this year, then follow the Spotify playlist I linked below for the top 50 and the overflow. Do me a huge favor and help me get this video to 3,000 likes. Hannah and I both pour everything into bringing these year-end countdowns to life each year, so liking, commenting, and of course subscribing if you're new helps out even more than you know.
Honest thing is weighing on me, it's a storm. Never thought I would be back here bleeding. I'm not just some sad dude.
I keep telling y'all I count December releases towards the next year, so fresh off the bottle, it's the trippy Tequila Shots by Kid Cudi opening the list at number 50. The Man on the Moon series is really something special. He could have totally butchered the third act, but he didn't do that at all. He took his time, made it with care with most of the original producers, and gave us something straight from the heart, with Tequila Shots being my personal favorite. If you're looking for fun music that'll make you smile, then look no further. This is it. Between that carefree vibe and the choppy guitars that should tug heavily on your 2000s nostalgia heartstrings, Sarah shot the arrow straight through the serotonin membrane, if that's actually a thing. Point being, get happy, y'all.
We've got 10 years left with these bodies, and maybe 20 on this earth. If we burn it all down, will we feel something now?
Wait, no, get sad, y'all. Damn, get real sad, but maybe not as sad as the last time we saw Spanish love songs, maybe? Phantom Limb was unearthed from the Brave Faces Everyone B-sides, and thank God it exists! I'm already a diehard for this band, and the fact that their leftovers beat out hundreds of other songs for a spot on this list, yeah, that should tell you everything you need to know. Good lord, that's a scuzzy riff. Royal Blood teaming up with the Queens of the Stone Age frontman Josh Homme could not have turned out better, but if only he had produced the rest of the album. The English rock duo had been tossing this track in the setlist for a few years before finally nailing it down for Typhoons. Its final form is like watching a pro figure skater run laps around melting ice sculptures, which, suffice it to say, is basically another way of saying it's super badass in an unconventional way. Kokomo, Indiana is an actual place that exists that's definitely not the tropical paradise the Beach Boys sang about long ago, but it is intentionally set there as Japanese Breakfast, stage name of Michelle Zauner, writes from the perspective of a teenage boy whose crush moves far away, never to return. Violins round out the instrumental as the perfect touch to an emotional reflection on how strong young love can feel. I needed this, you needed this, and if you don't know it, then hey, how's it going? You need this. Porter Robinson built a chirpy, optimistic bubble around the negativity and sent it cloud hopping. Look at the sky, we're still here. I'll be alive next year. Shivers, right there. Interjecting positivity with radiant melodies proved to be trying for Porter since he's a perfectionist producer that's also battling intense depression, but the long journey paid off in spades on his best song since Shelter. always crazy about Dan Auerbach's production, but he's got an eye for talent, and Yola is the entire package, heart, mind, and soul. Empowerment through acceptance reigns supreme as Yola confronts a different version of herself, maybe one that tried to downplay who she truly is. You couldn't ask for a better roundhouse kick to the psyche than this, because Stand For Myself is a timeless smash that lets Yola wholeheartedly belt out a full range of notes with a steam-powered outro for the history books. You can't put Architect's Glory with New Blood's Spiritbox and expect it not to tear your face off. They go there. Yellow Jacket does more than Sting. It grinds away until there's nothing left but a memory of a pummeling chorus, tasty breakdown, and a vocal feature from Sam Carter that comes damn close to stealing the entire show. Serving up some irresistible electronic prog metal with the Danish band Vola. I doubt most of you know who they are, I didn't either until this year, but if that little blurb caught your ear, then run like the wind, because Napalm shattered my expectations to become one of my favorite songs of 2021. Lil Nas X grabs Jack Harlow for a balls-to-the-wall rap anthem that rails against the beast that is the music industry. I had zero expectations when I casually checked this out. I don't even really like Jack Harlow, but holy shit, this is fire! Jack's verse is just as playful as a classic in-your-face hip-hop beat like this would call for. But don't get it twisted, Nas is the star of the show, and he performs like his career would be over if your mind wandered to something else even for a second. Kudos for the ever-consistent Tiger's Jaw as the indie rockers landed an incredibly satisfying blow on the finale to their latest album, which was also really great, you should give it a listen. However, its anniversary that became the runaway favorite, I'm over the moon for Ben and Brianna and the way that they get their voices stuck in this chemical bond that feels so natural, it's like they were made to be in a band together. There's a slight twinge of alternative country stirred in, hell yeah, and the band has new life thanks to a vivacious guitar solo and their incredibly talented drummer, Teddy Roberts.
You're a cowboy like me, perched in the dark, telling all the rich folks.
I hate to say I told you so, but I called this the standout that would be an underrated diamond in my review of Evermore, and that's exactly what Cowboy Like Me became. It's nearly the least streamed track on the album, which might not say a ton for an artist as popular as Taylor, but do me a favor, don't let this Marcus Mumford assisted outlaw jam get lost in the shuffle. Hammering home your album's title track is a make-or-break moment for some, but Billie Eilish clearly wasn't lacking for content when stitching together this brooding slow burn turned all-out rock and roll fever dream that puts a selfish ex on blast for the world to see. Let's jet over to New Zealand for this next one from the group Capitol Theatre. They're a relatively new rock band with loads of potential, and if you're into sick riffs that make you regret never learning how to play the guitar, well, here's their breakout single, People. Kudos to these guys for pulling out such a ripper. I fucking love when choruses keep changing as the song goes on. It adds so much more gusto to the story of greed, lust, fame. Wherever the numbers go, we follow blindly until the trap door closes to eat us alive. A round of applause for the amazing Hannah Greenwood, people. Give it up. You already know that I love the idea of Hannah getting an equal amount of tracks as Will Gould in Creeper, Exhibit A being the roaring Ghosts over Calvary. I really appreciate the strong bass presence that keeps the gears turning. The rhythm section jumps out in the verses, but the chorus is the chorus. Guys, that thing is just an unstoppable crusade, and the guitar solo is wicked good too, backing up the point that evil really might be running through through their veins.
Use me up again, recycle my love.
Feeling fucked over, used up, drained, and recycled, Cherry AMOUR survived and you can too. Call 1-800-EMO-CULT today for your free relationship consultation. Okay, you get the point, right? Bitter feelings towards a partner that's using you, and you happen to catch feels. It happens, you're human. I'm more impressed with how well they dressed up the old formula to make something fresh on Orlando. And I don't normally get along this well with pitch-shifted vocals, but the way they do it, it completely works with the song's spirit.
Go on, make my day, go get high on my mistakes.
Palais Royale might just be turning into exactly what I hoped they would, and oh, what's that? What is it that I hoped for? Well, I wished upon a glam rock star and said, universe, give me the theatricality of My Chemical Romance with the gritty pizzazz of the great band leaders of the 70s and put them in a blender, and what do you know? Out comes Punching Bag, dripping in all of that bombast I've really been missing.
Can you feel my love? Lasting with the heat above.
Heat Above is the family band's finest hour yet. They've had this written for years, but I'm happy they waited to unleash it with album 2, because Josh Kiszka's voice grew even more powerful. What's not to love here anyway? Classic rock stylings with a heap of organs, fiery guitars, and even some elegant arrangements to bring it all home on this friendly reminder that love rises faster than hate. Your friends are gonna take away aux cord privileges after this one, but it's okay, you've got Black MIDI and you're done living slow. No, you're anything but slow. This is essentially wild, experimental, freeform jazz rock that's actually daring to do new shit without being totally inaccessible. I mean, yeah, it might take a few listens, but hey, give it some time.
Oh, it's too much to lose. Oh, it's time or self-destruct.
Blistering guitar movements shake the earth on Self-Destructor, a rampaging lament against science deniers that tears apart any idiot that's willing to put politics or religion over facts and reality. It's a total chef's kiss moment because on one hand, ooh, terrific new single from CHEVELLE, it's great that they still rip. But on the other, it's like, damn, this is really cathartic after the years we've lived through. Let me just hit that replay button one more time.
It makes no sense to me. I should be happy, should be thankful for friends I have around me, the support of my fractured family, but still I'm just pretending that I'm fine when I'm feeling lousy all the time.
Emo's clothing of choice band returns with a slightly updated sound, this time tapping the pop-punk deck hard on the bangin' single, What's Up? You gotta respect the hell out of Mom Jeans for their sheer likability despite positioning themselves as total out-of-the-loop dorks. I mean, for fuck's sake, this song is 112% about self-loathing, but it's fun as fuck and should definitely be added to your karaoke with friends playlist ASAP. Leave it to the Chemical Brothers to swarm the speakers with a resounding burst of triumph to help push past the most troubling of times. By breaking 2 samples in half to add vocals to the mix, the electronic duo allow themselves enough space to build up some unforgettable synthscapes that shine brighter than the sun.
Hey there, darling, did you get your haircut? I think I've cut damn near every last one of them.
Why is this song so emotional? First of all, the music must be laced with crack or something because 2 minutes ain't nearly enough of this gentle tried and true folk pop, but past that, the performances from PETEY and Maya Folic are just so real and sad and understandable. It can be tough if you think about it too much, and I promise it really is a bouncy, sweet, vibrant tune, but there's darkness in the water, and that's what keeps them grounded. One step closer closer are without a doubt a band to watch in the hardcore scene, as they've really carved out a sound that reminds me of both the 90s movement and what was going on in some of the best melodic hardcore of the 2000s. Chrysanthemum is a flying dagger in a field of dying flowers. It's the feeling of hopelessness when the rainbow fades, an aggressive expression of angst with a murmuring heartbeat. The backing cleans on this one really lit up my ears. All around, it's a killer tune that makes even more sense when the harsh cold of winter sets in. Take your entire record, crunch it down to a molecule, and then blow it back up for a monumental precursor. Here it is, all aboard the 737, foxing or cruising at a comfortable altitude. Until they're not, and I'm not gonna be the one to tell you when the plane's going down in flames, but maybe, just maybe, have that oxygen mask ready. It sounds like the intensity of Brand New filtered through Foxing's lens, and it's truly a spectacle you need to witness firsthand. Fluorescent rings out the alarm with a fascinating metaphor. Moths are drawn to light and they swarm it, something that we as humans probably look at and think, wow, they're stupid, but then we look right back down at our lit up little phone screen and stare emptily into the void. John Foreman's lyrics are thought-provoking but easy to digest, and the band really leans into this light symphonic ambience that slowly burns brighter by adding in some intoxicating harmonies that sound like the exact kind of growth I'd expect from a veteran band like SWITCHFOOT. Psychedelic hip-hop funk? Fuck yes! Why wasn't this drowning my eardrums sooner, Mr. Genesis OWUSU? Sweet mother of pearl, the wordplay, the flows, the fuzzed out soundscapes that slowly add in more ever so slightly detuned guitars. Everything that he's doing, I just don't necessarily have a comparison for. The idea behind Pressure Machine was for Brandon Flowers to take inspiration from his small hometown in Utah and chronicle stories from the perspective of hardworking Americans that might otherwise be forgotten. In Another Life gets better like a fine wine. It's my favorite piece of the puzzle because of the huge killersism, sure, but even better, it's a peek inside the kind of sad musings from the mind of a man who wonders aloud what his life could have been if he'd moved away or maybe made better decisions instead of feeling eternally stuck. Heavy metal with the true heart of a warrior, I adore what Gojira did here. Mankind has continued to ruin what the French band called the greatest miracle by destroying Amazonia, both the rainforests and the indigenous peoples of the Amazon region. Of course, the music totally kicks ass too, with that insane boinging riff coiling into a mesmerizing downfall. Joe Duplantier stands firm behind his beliefs and never backs down, not even in the face of events that not only affect Amazonia, but the entire planet.
Oh my God, it's all happening again. Promised myself I wouldn't go back, but here I am. Oh my God, it's all right in front of me.
Heart Attack Man yelled bombs away as they self-destruct in the most euphoric way imaginable. Is it catchy? Fuck yes. Well played, engaging, riveting, colorful, out of pocket. They checked every damn box and even added some hella good 2000 synth action to pack even more heat to this pop-punk hardcore wet dream. Mime the fucking Biff. Would you look at this belter go? Damn, they still got it. Not that that was ever in question, but A Hunger in Your Haunt champions one of the most sing-along worthy hooks I've heard in a long time. The anthemic edge swaps in and out with gliding riff storms, voluptuous bass, and a show-stopping instrumental break that eventually launches back into a colossal, and I mean huge, finale.
I woke up in the middle of a dream, chasing someone or something.
battering rams are locked and loaded as Rise Against pulled a move I 100% did not see coming. They broke the curse of the aging rock band and put out one of the best songs of their career on their 9th album! Middle of a Dream is a fuming melodic hardcore showdown with a glorious chorus that never fails to get itself lodged inside my head. The punk rock introduction gives way to a confusing daydream as Tim McElrath tries to escape the tortured nightmare of losing a family member you loved with every fiber of your being. Vampiric energy haunts the halls of Boston Manor's latest evolution, Algorithm. The English lads have dropped something great just about every year since their debut in 2016, and knowing the path from roots to now makes this victory lap even more satisfying. It's a huge tune that's primed for crossover success.
Driving with the angel of death, I pass by your old apartment, sniffing up the pills you left.
Andy Hull is such a gifted songwriter, producer, you name it, he's the musician for it. But something about this track's unsettling aura opened my third eye to how well he plays off of his bandmates. Angel of Death presents a spellbinding dichotomy between a man and his family members that have likely passed away, transfixing your mind to the sky as the ascended instrumental increases the altitude beyond the realm of what we can easily understand.
Up in that, whatchamacallit. Yeah. Played a couple demos at Madison Square Garden and tell them motherfuckers that's only I'm not calling.
It's pretty astonishing how much ground Tyler covers in just over 2 minutes. All hail the creator, and all hail DJ Drama. Corso is a hype anthem for people who keep their flexing in check by reminding themselves that sometimes shit gets tangled and you make a mistake.
I've made a huge mistake.
Fortunately for us, his mistakes bump in the whip, and DJ Drama really adds to the magic by expertly switching lanes without pulling the plug on Corso's gargantuan energy. I have no idea what the hell this song is about, and I really don't care. It slams and I'd expect nothing less from Sleigh Bells. The noise pop duo deliver their signature brand of sunshiny vocals meets heavy guitars with a ton of chaotic sounds landing blow after blow in the background. Justine Go Genesis is basically a walkout song for a fighter, so if your adrenal glands could use a pick-me-up, I'm prescribing a heavy dose of Derek and Alexis.
And now down on the floor, you'll see that no one will know. It's me, it's breaking my back.
Jack White plays all the instruments this time, taking back the reins and flourishing in the process. He's unleashed a prismatic track that, to sum it up quickly, is a hell of a wormhole with guitar-centric flashes to both old and new shades of blue.
I'll take from sorrow and disgust, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Don't give up, don't let go.
Say it louder for the people in the back, John. Spencer Charnas is a horror icon, and sometimes devilish fun lies beneath the soil on this guttural but catchy bridge to the supernatural funeral derangements. It's stuffed full of references to the Stephen King classic while remaining accessible to any fan of heavy music who isn't afraid to get their hands dirty with an absolutely filthy breakdown.
You go to the party, you ask me to dance. You could maybe open with your hands. Maybe we can talk, maybe we can be friends.
Nostalgic longing for something you know you'll never have is the tie that binds for Pom Pom Squad on the aptly titled Drunk Voicemail. It definitely reads like an intoxicated stream of confessions, but it works like an endearing oath you'd take to the grave if it was your friend leaving the message. This scratches the itch for hazy 90s alternative music thanks to the skillful production of Illuminati Hotties. The gloomy atmosphere allows their guitarists to pour their soul into the mix, brimming with just as much conviction as their head cheerleader Mia Barrett.
Two phones, but I only bring one in this bitch. One daughter, but they all my sons in this bitch. No hoes, ain't shit getting done in this bitch. I'm scary, I got a gun in this bitch.
Family Ties challenged me because, on paper, it's weird. Baby Keem's flow is charismatic and switches up a few times as the beat evolves, but the second act is like the carpet being snatched out from under you, and you fall into this place where Kendrick's going crazy in the most low-key way before tapping Keem back in as they go bar for bar to nail the coffin door shut. Now that's what I call metalcore. In space! Prepare for liftoff on this total behemoth of a tune, Lunar Halo. In fact, metalcore doesn't even do it justice. They're beyond that, with these chonky-ass riffs that never sit still, and a chemical bond between their singer and screamer. There's like a 40-second guitar solo towards the end that explodes my head every time. ERRA have stepped up their game big time, and if more bands could look to the likes of them, Polaris, or Silent Planet for inspiration, the scene's reputation would re-up big time.
Mother wears her makeup extra thick for a reason. When I tell you you were born and you are here for a reason, you are not convinced the reason is a good one.
Any other kids raised in church out there, specifically in the Bible Belt? I'm not saying we're the only ones that will love this song and fully understand, but if you know, you know. VBS is a grim retelling of religious-adjacent childhood events by DACUS, and it's a home run any way you look at it. If you're just here for the music, fine, crank it to 11, especially once that Slayer bit comes in, but it's Lucy's ability to sound aloof while sorting through troubling, if not traumatic events in her life that totally hooked me.
Sickness, I just need to get through everything about me. I don't need to feel oxygen to your fire.
It's like gliding your hand over a stone that's been lying at the bottom of a river for hundreds, if not thousands of years. Secrets by the alternative pop duo Magdalena Bay is effortlessly cool as it quietly pokes a hole in your boat, sinking the notion that anyone deserves to know everything about someone just because they're a prominent figure on social media. Don't let the subject matter be off-putting though. I know that we hear a lot about that and it can be overblown and overdone. It's the combining of electronic and alternative dance vibes of the 80s and 90s that takes center stage, with the commentary just being an added cherry on top. Shame is an English post-punk unit, and 6-1 is the pinnacle of everything they've done together. Cycling guitars edge out a tortured mind as their frontman Charlie Steen stares back at his own worst traits in the mirror and attempts to expel them like some sort of fucked up demon. My only complaint is the length of the song. I'd take a 5, 6, 7 minute extended remix easily given how well they pull it off in concert. Ripping solos indicate fans are ready for more, and if you dig this, trust me, it's only the tip of the iceberg. Citizens circle the drain viciously on the pummeling opener to an electrifying record. Death Dance approximately takes the guesswork out of the equation, they're on fire, and there's nothing you can do but stand up, rock out, and listen to a desperate cry for help that sounds like a heavenly cross between Block Party and Death from Above 1979.
I'd like to plan out my part in this, but you're such a narcissist. You'll probably do it next week. I don't get a choice in the matter. Why would I? It's only the death of me.
YouTube recommended this song to me in the middle of the night a few days after Halloween, and I haven't been the same since. Lizzy McAlpine smashes open tear ducts with a fistful of perfectly plotted lyrics that eulogize the final days of a relationship in the most wonderfully melodramatic way. Breakups are like bullet wounds on Doomsday, an all-out war zone that keeps rewriting the script to grow bigger and bolder as she prepares herself for the inevitable pain of what they both know is coming. Explosive melodies and fresh chord progressions intertwine with an all-encompassing vocal from Lizzy to give off the feeling of a full-blown theater production worthy of a standing ovation by the time the curtain closes.
Which Power Ranger are you? Take this quirky quiz. Obama sent the immigrants to vaccinate your kids.
As the fabric of our society continues to rip apart at the seams, we need a hero to restore our faith in humanity. Or perhaps a comedic genius named Bo Burnham personifying a supervillain in the form of the entire World Wide Web? That could work too. I've watched Bo grow for show, but did any of us really expect Inside? It's insane, but nothing was wilder than Welcome to the Internet, a rollicking show tune that manages to shrink 1,000 flashing screens down to 4.5 minutes as the comic mocks the sad, tired routines we've all fallen victim to in the digital age. Bo's gotten so much better at performing, dipping in and out of character, and breaking the fourth wall. If life is but a Disney movie, this is the villain's main song, and we're all singing along nervously, laughing, not entirely sure whether to keep smiling or just break down in tears, knowing that our culture of instant gratification has ruined us forever. Robert fucking Smith. It's the goth god himself meets CHVRCHES. It was destined for the Gloom and Doom Hall of Fame from the inception of the collab. They could have made just about anything and I would have been on board. But they didn't just play it safe. This is a blending of worlds that plays to everyone's strengths. Lauren Mayberry leads the charge, tossing emotional daggers with a trail of blood behind her, as Robert Smith picks up the second verse in a way that I can only describe as midnight under a full moon. Pensive thoughts are mirrored by a roaring hook and devastatingly good harmonies from The Cure's Icon, but massive credit to Martin and Ian from CHVRCHES. They absolutely annihilated the production and instrumentation on How Not to Drown. I've seriously been so starstruck at how detailed everything sounds, from the synthesizers, the guitars, and even the punchy drums. They reimagined what this trio can be without sacrificing what sets them apart. Oh, it's so good! Turnstile, baby. They're turning the hot knife on this slamming riff fest of a banger, lining up their sights with a bouncy, suspenseful intro, before unleashing the Venus flytrap that hits harder than what I'd imagine a ceiling landing on your head must feel like. Their noisy hardcore punk edge is melted with a dash of dream pop, as evidenced by the start of Holiday, but expect nothing less than a headbanger's ball with this tearing up your speakers with killer mosh pit-inducing performances from everyone involved.
Dreams slowly stalling, extravagance disguises elegant as boring.
I feel like a proud parent watching Wolf Alice shine, climb, and flourish their way to brand new heights. Delicious Things is my 2021 Song of the Year, the evolutionary anchor that's blazing a path I can only hope that more guitar bands will follow. Never in my life have I heard a song that sounds like this. It's a baptismal odyssey about the trial and error process of growing older and finding yourself in uncharted territory. The story is painted in dazzling detail by their jaw-dropping leader Ellie Roselle. Her words are like portals, and the music is the black hole your mind is drawn to, knowing it'll be rewarded with a rush of dopamine each time you come back. Delicious Things conquers anything and everything in 5 minutes. Homesick lullabies, shimmering reverb-heavy guitars, thudding intimate bass to complement the whispered voices, and a stampede of full band ingenuity to back the moments where Ellie belts it out! They topped my best list in 2015, and here they are doing it again, sounding even more mature, refined, and elegant in this dreamy soundscape that feels cinematic, but also painfully relatable to anyone adjusting to a new phase of life. I'm so happy. I'm so stoked with how this list came together, so I hope you enjoyed it too. Remember, these are just my opinions, so comments like, "You forgot blank," or "Why is this here? This is trash," that's not helpful. But no, a huge thank you to you for watching this video. Check out the playlist for the full top 50 and for the overflow linked in the description down below. That's on Spotify. You can see all of my year-end countdowns right here on screen, or see my favorite songs of 2020 right over here. I'll be back soon with more on ARTV.